While urban sprawl is often a concern in Colorado, there is still a considerable amount of wilderness in the state. Exploring those areas can often uncover treasures left behind by wildlife, pioneers, or even Native Americans. 9 News reporter Delozier talked with a man who found something that traveled a very long way and ended up here.
I'm just looking for anything out of the ordinary.
And out here, there's no shortage of places to look. Bob Dunn finds a lot of these.
Mostly deer and elk antlers.
Over the years, he's found the unusual.
I found lariats, I found binoculars.
In a country this big, you just never know.
It's like a giant Easter egg hunt. There's no telling what you're going to run onto.
Or here.
I was walking along and there was an odd noise.
Like nothing he'd ever heard.
A high-pitched scrape.
And then he saw it about 100 yards away.
I had a pretty good idea that it was something very unusual.
But how did it get here?
I looked down at it and looked up and said to myself, this thing fell out of the sky.
This was the first clue about where it came from.
It was in Russian.
Launched in January, the Russian rocket orbited the Earth for 2 months. NASA says it re-entered the atmosphere on March 19th.
This, to me, was pretty pristine from falling out of the sky.
When Bob found it, it was still warm.
I got to wondering on the way back, I kept looking at my hand to make sure whether I was just feeling something warm or whether I'd radiated myself.
It's actually part of a tank on the rocket, 70 pounds of titanium. That's a long way from home.
It belongs to the Russians. So it's up to them. I don't know that whether they would like a piece of space junk back or not.
For a guy who spends his days looking for the unusual.
Anything that's out here, sooner or later, you're going to run onto it.
It's a safe bet. It will be a while before he finds something more unusual than this. In Moffat County, this is Dave Delozier, 9 News.
Bob Dunn says he's willing to give his discovery back to the Russians. He would, though, like a letter requesting its return that he could frame and hang on his wall. Dave started working on this story after getting a news tip. If you have a story you think we should cover, call us or go to 9news.com and click on News Tips.